Welcome, everybody, to the Genesis Mindset. And in today's episode, I'm going to be sharing Sonny the Detective's ecosystem. So, Die Hard, I've had a lot of requests for Die Hard. I've had requests for the meth ecosystem, the rewarder ecosystem, and basically everything that Sonny's put together. So, if you don't know who Sonny the Detective is, there's a link up here with an interview that I had with Sonny. And I'm actually today just giving an overview. So, it's an overview of all the different tokens. So, you can have a look at everything there and you can decide which ones that you like. I'm also going to leave the list of tokens and the rewards and the contract addresses in the description below. So if you're interested in any of them, all the information is going to be there. So like I said, if you want to check out Sonny, see what he's all about, go check out that interview. But I am planning on having another chat with Sonny in the very near future, probably next week or maybe the week after, to discuss this ecosystem in more detail. I really enjoyed that chat that I had with Sonny months ago. So I'd love to have him back on, and he's more than happy to come back. So with that, let's get into the episode. So as usual, well, I've got to do these reminders every so often. So this is mindset for investing, trading, and life. So it's just personal opinion. It's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, yada, yada, yada. So die hard, get rich or die trying. So we're going to go through Sonny's ecosystem. So first of all, Sonny's ecosystem, one of the biggest things that struck me about Sonny in general and Sonny's ecosystem is the magic ingredient. Be a good human, be giving, and don't be greedy. So this is something that Sonny said to me in DMs, and I shared it on a tweet, and it really resonated with me instantly. And this is something that I believe I've really gravitated to Sonny for, because this is his mindset. He really has that mindset of just don't be greedy, just be a giving human and be someone where we can all win together. And so he's devised this whole ecosystem where basically everybody can win together just by virtue of being a part of this ecosystem. One of the best places you can be within Pulse Chain is Sonny's Pub. It is a hub of learning. So I've learned a lot about liquidity providing. I've learned a lot about Pulse Chain and the Atreba ecosystem within Sonny's Pub. So I will leave a link to the Telegram also in the description if you want to join there. And the video chat is very, very active. And I really enjoyed my time in the video chat. And when I was really diving deep into liquidity providing many, many months ago, I spent a lot of time in the video chat. I unfortunately haven't been able to spend a lot of time in there just because, yeah, man, I'm just so busy. So I haven't been able to spend a lot of time in there. And the times where it's really peaking is kind of like my that's my optimum energy output. So really spending time in there kind of takes away from doing the things that I need to do. But I would strongly recommend going to Sonny's Pub and going into the video chat. And basically what he's done is he's created an entire ecosystem of tokens where you can essentially choose to collect the whole set or just choose your favorite. And so me personally, I've chosen some of my favorites. Some people have collected the whole set. And I guess people also treat the Atropa ecosystem in the same manner, where they choose ones that they like or they collect them all. So it's completely up to you. So with Sonny's ecosystem, the rewards go to holders rather than LPs in some instances. So it depends on the type of token. So some of the tokens will give rewards in tokens, and some of the tokens will give rewards in LPs. So this relates a lot to Die Hard. So for example, if you own 1% of the supply of a token and 50% of the supply is in LPs that Sonny has created, then you actually get 2% of the rewards. So even if no one is buying the tokens, the rewards are actually still being distributed as the LPs continue to grow, which generates more volume, which creates more arbitrage, and it creates more rewards. So really all you need to do with this is sit back, passively earn, and you just grow exponentially. That's the real beauty of this. You don't have to have a trading mindset. You just have to have an accumulation and sit back and just passively earn mindset. So for me personally, this is something that I find very, very attractive. And so this is something that I've been attracted to with Sonny's ecosystem in particular. So obviously I'm very big in the Atropa ecosystem, and I'm also very big within Sonny's ecosystem. I really like the idea of passively earning rewards. So first of all, kind of where it all started was A1A. So A1A is 1% reflections in A1A. So holding the A1A token, you get 1% reflections in A1A. And this is a magnificent chart. This is probably one of the first tokens on Pulse Chain that basically set the scene for this ETF concept. So since then, there's a few that's come along. There's been PLS Pup. There has been, I think, There's a few others. My apologies. There is a few others, and I don't remember them off the top of my head, but those are the two ones that really stick out to my mind. Obviously, there's also B2B, which is another Sunny one. So this is kind of what really started it. So this whole idea of creating a token that's liquidity bonded with other different kinds of tokens, and then the arbitrage that happens between the different liquidity pools basically lifts the whole asset up like an ETF. So it's a really profound thing that basically has been invented on Pulse Chain, as far as I can tell. PLS Xmas was one of the first explorations into this idea of token rewards as well, of giving token rewards that Sunny mentioned. And the final piece of the puzzle is DAI Hard. So this is 10% rewards in DAI stablecoin, otherwise known as PDAI. So we have the Meth Lab, so the Meth ecosystem. So the Meth ecosystem, so the tokens basically within the Meth ecosystem, it gives tokens as rewards, and the tokens are from Ethereum. So the idea here is it's designed to generate volume and bring in liquidity from Ethereum. And so, as I said, these are token rewards. So you have the mini Min Eth Lab, so which gives you 1% Pulse wrapped Ethereum. Then you also have Meth, which gives you 1% from Ethereum, wrapped Ethereum. You have MDAI, which gives you eDAI rewards. You have MBTC, which gives Bitcoin, wrapped Bitcoin rewards. I had this and I made a big mistake in trying to sell it and then buy more on a dip. So basically I tried to sell a top and then buy a bottom, and it basically just kept running. And so I lost that opportunity. And I'm a bit spewing on that because I did want to have just for the sake of it, I like the idea of having some Bitcoin because it's really like the big daddy of all of cryptocurrency. So you can actually get access to that through here. We have MLink, which is basically Ethereum Link, 1%. You have MDoge, 1% Ethereum Doge. MMatic, 1% Matic from Ethereum. So all of these are from Ethereum, with the exception of the Min Eth Lab. So there's also MPaxG, which is 1% PaxG from Ethereum. MSol, 1% Solana from Ethereum. So how does that work? 1% Solana from Ethereum. So it wouldn't be Solana from Ethereum unless it's wrapped Solana. So it could be wrapped Solana, or it could just be straight up Solana. I'm not too sure about that one. Hopefully someone can clarify that one. So my apologies if I've got that one wrong. So MBNB, so that's going to give you BNB. Again, I think it's the same scenario with the Solana. MFrax, which is eFrax. So this is basically this Meth Lab is trying to bring liquidity into Pulse Chain from outside of Pulse Chain. So that's the beauty of the Meth Lab. So it's really cooking up volume, drawing it into the ecosystem from outside the ecosystem. So that's something that's really good about the Meth Lab ecosystem. So then we have the Rewarder tokens. So Rewarder, so again, this is just a very quick overview. So these are rewards in tokens. So by holding these tokens, you're getting rewarded 1% PLS, for example, with Rewarder. You got DAI, which gives you DAI stablecoin 1%. I've got some of that. Tether, USDT stablecoin on Pulse Chain, 1% USDC stablecoin on Pulse Chain, 1% USDP stablecoin on Pulse Chain. We have 1% INC. So INCAR gives you 1% INC. We've got Bear, which gives you 2% Teddy Bear. And hey, whoever's donated, some people have donated me some of these, by the way. So thank you very much. Whoever has done that, I really appreciate that. I noticed in my donation wallet that some people have donated me some Bear R, and there was a few other little goodies in there. So thanks very much for that. Whoever has done that, I really appreciate that. If anyone else wants to donate, please, I'm a full-time volunteer. I'm by no means rich, but I do hope to one day change the world and make it a better and a more positive place through mindset and through meditation. So any and all donations are very, very much appreciated. It's basically all going towards the world, going back into the world. It's not going into Lamborghinis or houses or anything like that. I don't have a house. I'll never have a house. I sleep in a meditation center where I have a mattress by day, and I roll it up, put it away, and then it's basically a meditation room by day rather, and then it's sleeping by night. So I don't really have a place to call my own. So I try to be as selfless as humanly possible. We have the more tokens. So the Atrope R, which is 1% Atrope R, Mine R, which is 1% wrapped Bitcoin on Pulse Chain. So this is the Pulse Chain wrapped Bitcoin. So again, these versions are all Pulse Chain versions. So the Rewarder gives you Pulse Chain, Meth gives you Ethereum. So we have DIGR, which is PaxG on Pulse Chain, A1AX, which is 1% A1A rewards, and 1% A1A burn. So if you want to really contribute to the ecosystem, the A1A ecosystem, and similarly to the B2B ecosystem, then you can purchase these tokens where you're going to get the rewards in the tokens, and it's also burning it. So you're doing something good for the whole ecosystem in general. Who which is 2% in Annabelle. So Annabelle is an Atropa token, which is basically, Annabelle is essentially the burn address within the Atropa ecosystem. So it has a variety of different functions, and one of the functions is that it's a burn address. We have Lendar, which gives you 3% Aave, and I'm imagining that is Pulse Aave. I've just copied and pasted this from the Rewarder ecosystem Telegram, and I'll also put that there, and I'll also put the MethLab Telegram in the description below as well. And then finally, we have Ponkar, which gives you 1% in eBonk. So this is probably the only outlier because it's giving you Bonk, which is actually from Solana. So I think when they put eBonk, maybe it's meant to say S, and same as like the E Solana, it's supposed to be S Sol. But in any case, there you go. So now we have the Rewarder ecosystem, which gives LP reward. So the other ones were tokens. So by holding that token, you're getting rewarded in the token. With these, you're actually getting rewarded in LPs. So the differentiator here is by holding this, you don't even need to do anything. You just hold the token, and if you want to actually see it, you go to your PulseX, you go to your PulseX, and you basically, well, what you would do, for instance, for the very first one here. So you would go to, I have this one, so I've got some DAI LP, and if you want to just see, it's automatically generating the yield. So you don't even need to do anything. You buy the token, it automatically generates the yield. But if you actually want to see it, you would go to your PulseX, and you would basically just go to add liquidity. And as you go to add liquidity, it will tell you, oh, you've already got this token. So you would go to add liquidity with DAI stablecoin and eDAI, Ethereum DAI, and then it will say you've already got this. And then you just say, oh, okay, all right, I'm going to manage this. So you click that, and then you can see exactly what you're getting from that. So I like this idea because I'm very bullish on $1 DAI stablecoin, the PDAI. So I'm very bullish on that. So it doesn't matter if you've got PDAI or eDAI, it doesn't really matter. They're both going to be $1 in the end, right? So that's my perspective. So I really like the idea of the DAI LP, because in the future as well, hopefully there's going to be a lot of volume that's going between the two. So if you've got some of that bad boy and you've been accumulating it for a long time, plus you've got the token, which is going to have all this value, it's a pretty damn good buy. So here we go. So C3CR gives 1% A1A and B2B LP. You've got Centaur, which is 1% PDAI, eDAI, and Pulse Chain wrapped Bitcoin and Ethereum Bitcoin. So, that's actually quite nice. Centaur, I like that. We got Pharma, 1% Pulse and PulseX LP and INC you're getting. 414R, so basically this is 1% in 414 LP. So there's 8 different tokens within that ecosystem. You have Hex LP, which is giving you 3% in Hex and Hex from Ethereum LP. So again, you don't even need to do anything. It just automatically generates the yield. And then we have BTC LP, which is giving you Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Pulse Bitcoin. So I think that's supposed to be eBTC and EWBTC and PWBTC. So yeah. And then we have Boner, which is 2% in Bone and SHIB. And now the big daddy, the final one, DieHard. So I just love DieHard. And again, thank you to Sunny. Sunny created this token, 10% tax. I didn't actually have a lot of DAI, even though I've been talking about this a lot. I didn't actually have a lot. And pretty much Sunny donated 777 777 or 7,777, one of the two. So lots of sevens in the donation wallets. And basically I've accumulated a lot. I've died just from holding that for a month. And he donated that. He gave it to influencers and builders. So thank you very much, Sunny. That has been really fantastic because it's helped me build my DAI stablecoin bag, which I didn't have a lot of. So I'm looking to get more. But there you go. So DAI Hard is a very, very awesome token. And I'm going to show the chart for that as well, because this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do an overview of the ecosystem, but also because I think DAI Hard right now is a very, very good buy. So it gives it's got a 10% buy and sell tax with 10% DAI stablecoin, so PDAI rewards. And the defining feature of all of these, basically everything within this ecosystem, is if the ratio decreases between DAI and hard, for example, from 50-1 to 40-1 to 1-1, that means you're actually getting more hard tokens in the LP, which means more rewards for the holders if the ratio is decreasing, because as the LPs don't actually get the rewards. On the contrary, if the ratio increases, that means you get less hard tokens in the LPs, so less rewards, but the price of the hard token appreciates. So it's a win-win, whichever way that you want to look at it. And I'm a firm believer that basically there's going to be a point where the value of buying these tokens is going to be much more valuable than actually buying the token itself. So for example, DAI Hard gives you DAI stablecoin. So at the minute, if we go to the charts here, there's going to be a price point, and this is probably one of those price points. I haven't done the math on it. This is basically just theoretical. Well, first of all, I mean, you've got this massive, massive trend line or price level here. So this zone here where it's hasn't really fallen below. It's had a strong bounce off. So this is a good buy point, in my opinion. Just to get a 2x. If you want to just be extremely safe, you could say, all right, I'm just going to get a 2x and then I can take my initial out and then just keep the rest in rewards. It doesn't have to go far. It's bounced off this region a lot. So you could, I'll be personally buying some of this myself. So you just get your double and then you're left with some of that, hard, which is fantastic. And it's just going to generate you the DAI stablecoin. So somewhere along the way, as the value of DAI stablecoin continues to increase, if DAI Hard, let's just talk hypotheticals. If DAI Hard keeps going down, but PDAI separate to this, PDAI just keeps going up and up. So let's just say this is the PDAI chart. PDAI keeps going up and up. Somewhere along the way, it's like, okay, well, actually, the value of buying PDAI up here, I might only get, 50K DAI stablecoin. But if I buy this and I hold it for a month, I might get 50K DAI stablecoin, and it was a lot cheaper. Then I've got the value of the token, plus I've got my 50K, which I got in a month, plus the interest that I'm going to continue to get on that by holding the DAI. So again, this is why I'm bullish on this ecosystem, because there's going to be this converging point where holding the token itself, the reward token, is going to be more value than buying the actual token that it's giving you rewards in. Honestly speaking, at the moment, there's a lot of these tokens, you'd have to do the math yourself. A lot of these tokens where it's probably going to be more valuable to buy the actual token itself. You might get your return on investment by buying the reward token maybe after a year or 2 years or maybe 3 years or 4 years, whatever it's going to be. You would have to do the math and work that out. But there's going to be a point again where it's just going to be so much more valuable to buy the reward token. And that's why I love the idea of buying these now when nobody else is talking about it. And that's the beauty of this whole ecosystem. Nobody needs to buy it. It doesn't actually matter. They're just going to continue to create volume. They're going to continue to create arbitrage, which is creating that volume, which is creating the reward. So whether it goes up, whether it goes down, you're getting rewards. So I'm just very, very bullish on the Sunny ecosystem. And so with that, I'm going to finish with a book reading. So I want to finish on this one because I like Sunny's mentality of giving. I like Sunny's mentality of not having greed and basically having a giving mind. So this is something that really strikes me as one of my favorite passages from my meditation teacher. And this passage is called, "What is love? The true meaning of love." Love. True love is acceptance without expecting anything in return. People often use the words, I love you, but this is said to control others in order to fulfill one's greed, and this is not true love. In Christianity, it is said that only God's love is true love because God has only the mind of acceptance. Therefore, it is true love without any judgments or minds about what is good or bad. A person can love unconditionally only when the mind is discarded and the mind of the great universe is always present. Love is not to be received, but to be given. When true love is given, true love can be received. One must have the true mind to truly love. And I just love that. Love is not to be received, but to be given. When true love is given, true love can be received. I just love that. It absolutely aligns with my perspective. We often, I mean, you see it everywhere. Everybody's always expecting something from everybody else. But if you have the mindset of just giving, the world will give back to you. It's a universal principle. It's an energetic principle. But because we're living in this capitalist society and everybody's taught that it's a dog eat dog world and I just got to look after myself and I've got to take care of myself first, and I have this mind that thinks that I'm the most important thing in existence, which actually doesn't even exist in the first place, this is a big problem. So everybody's always expecting something from somebody else. And in my opinion, I mean, it's a matter of fact, none of that is true love. None of that will actually get you everlasting love. The true love is actually given first, and then it can actually be received. And as you give more and more to the world in any way, shape, or form, more and more comes back to you. And so this is why I wanted to finish on that note, because again, Sonny's really all about giving. He's not about taking. He's not about greed. He's all about giving. Like, man, the guy's a saint. He pretty much spends all day on Sonny's pub just educating people. And it's been a year now with Pulse Chain, and he's been educating people constantly about liquidity providing, and in a way that actually gets people to learn for themselves, not just giving you the answer so that you can just basically abuse what you've learned and then not really truly understand it. He's helping you understand it by teaching you in particular ways. So that's something that I really value in Sonny. So shout out to you again, Sonny. Shout out to everyone in the ecosystem, and shout out to all the Pulse Chain fam out there. And thank you very much and take care.